So Ashford residents opposed to the building of new homes on greenfield sites plan to overthrow their council. That's the plan anyway. They pledged to field candidates in each of the borough's seats in local council elections in May. They believe it may be the only way to stop up to 7,000 homes being built on land surrounding some of Kent's most idyllic villages. Well, Max Frohnsdorff is the campaign coordinator and joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks so much for joining us. So you're effectively fielding these candidates on this single issue, which is you don't want the beautiful countryside surrounding Ashford to be overrun by all this development. I mean, do you think people will vote for you on that single one issue?
Well, that's not exactly the case. It's campaign groups around the borough who've sprung up in opposition to local development plans in each area. We're now networked, we're coordinating, and we are fielding candidates, and we are supporting the Ashford Independent Party. And the Ashford Independent Party are an established political party who have a long track record in the borough over many years and have dealt with many issues successfully, ranging from recycling to rates. So while we're campaigning on one specific issue, the party through which we'll be fielding candidates actually has a sort of broader remit.
I see that, but I guess what you're hoping is that by banding together on this one issue, that you think that's a lot of people will that will chime a bell with them, and they will say, well, yeah, that is the issue that I'm most angry about.
Well, let's be honest, the lion's share of what local authorities do relates to strategic planning and development. Certainly it's the issue that affects most residents in Ashford when they think about Ashford Borough Council. Since the year 2000, the council has granted permission for 5,500 houses to be built, and they have been built. On top of that, they've granted permission for 6,300 houses to be built that haven't yet been built. In addition to that number, there are a further 3,000 in the pipeline that are due to receive permission imminently. That represents a 55% increase in the housing stock that we have. So that's a really great contribution to national growth and obviously exceeds local need. And what we're saying to the council, and what really matters to the people of Ashford, is that we just meet our own local needs. And with the change in government, with the new localism agenda and the abolition of the regional spatial strategies, it's now up to the council to decide what goes ahead and what doesn't. It doesn't have to do what Prescott tells it anymore.
Okay, well, I'll put the quote we got from Council Leader Peter Wood to you. They did decline our offer to put somebody up for an interview this morning. But, yeah, it is a shame. But they said future development would be driven by residents' needs and not growth targets set by faceless quangos. Peter Wood also said that the scale of development would be determined by residents, but that zero growth wasn't a realistic option. And it's not a realistic option, is it? You can't say nothing.
No, and
nothing
we don't say
built.
nothing. We are in favour of growth to meet local need, possibly even if that means development on greenfield sites. But what we're saying very clearly, and what the people of Ashford are saying very clearly, is that the development plans that the current council is pursuing exceed local need, and exceed local need by a dramatic margin. For instance, we have unused capacity in this borough to build a town the size of Paddock Wood. At the current build rate of 501 houses per year, it'll take us 12 years to work through the existing backlog of unbuilt houses. Yet on top of that, they want to build 7,000 houses on greenfield sites in Chilmington Green. They want to build 500 on greenfield sites in Tenterden, 600 on greenfield sites in Kennington, 200 on greenfield sites in Willsborough, and 280 more on greenfield sites in Goddington. I mean, this is just crazy. The real issue here is that the people of Ashford are realising that we have a council that's pursuing its own agenda to the detriment of the local residents. I mean, the town centre is in a state of urban decay. The countryside is set for demolition, and we're screaming out for more infrastructure investment that we just aren't going to get. We're lacking social services, and really, we've got a council that's become a sort of nasty, despotic fiefdom, refusing to listen to what the local residents are saying. We've got people all across the borough united in opposing what the council are doing, and they ignore us. They don't listen.
From what you're doing, all banding together in this way to stand under the independent party banner, you'll find out whether you truly are the voice of local people, I guess, when the local elections come around in May.
We simply can't wait for the elections. I mean, over the past few days, we were on the front page of the local paper on Thursday. On Friday, we had a very large, successful public meeting in Tenterden. I mean, this is a borough-wide campaign. We had a public meeting in Tenterden. Over 20% of the voters in that ward attended our public meeting against the developments that are proposed in the beautiful jewel of the weald that is Tenterden. We were on BBC Radio Kent on Saturday, again on Monday. We were on the TV news on Sunday night. We had more support, more candidates coming to us. We really are gathering massive momentum. This is a residents' uprising, and it's a residents' uprising because the council is pursuing its own agenda and does not listen.
Max Frohnsdorff, thanks so much for joining us, campaign coordinator there in Ashford. As you heard from him, Ashford residents saying, well, vote for us in the May elections if you don't want these developments laid down by the